In the last video, we looked at formatting this section of the upcoming events, and I went and changed a little bit. Let me just show you what I did here. I made the title, well, actually I put an H3 in here that says upcoming events, and then I added the title, the event title, and a dash, just as normal text, and then the content from the database. And I also put this all inside an upcoming events ID, and then up in the style sheets for upcoming events, I set the font size to 0.8 em. So if you're just wondering how come it looks different than at the end of the last video, that's what I did. So in this video, what we really want to do is create the user interface for modifying this. So just like we have for doing the newsletter and the other pages. So if we log in, we want to add a page on the, oops, let me log in one more time. You know that if you notice this database doesn't work sometimes when you're first logging in. For some reason, the database doesn't wake up right away. Okay, so now I'm logged in. And on the admin page, what I'd like to do is, or in this admin folder, create another page for doing the upcoming events. So the first thing we'll do is, under the admin folder, I'm going to try to copy these, and I'm going to try to say, let's copy this, and we'll paste it in here, because we really want to use pretty much the same code here. So I'm going to rename this to add event, and let's take a look at this guy. So, okay, it makes all that linkage up there correctly. And so what we want to do in here is, in our access data source, rather than well, let's just go to the design view and modify the data source there. So access data source 1, we will go in here and configure the data source, because right now it's pointing at what the newsletter. So I want to go here, but I want to make sure and point at events. Then I also want to click on advanced and make sure and generate the queries, and then say next and finish. And I'm going to say no to this because I don't want to regenerate those fields. So let's go look at our source code now. I think we're going to have to just change a little bit of this, because remember, in our insert parameters, we're trying to read from a text box, and up here we're using our editor. Okay, so that all looks good. Let's go and check in here in the add news. And down here where we do the insert parameters, we want to copy this one. So we'll copy this, and then our add event, in our insert parameters, the one for content we're going to replace with this one. And then we also want to change our insert string here. Insert into that here on the values. We're going to run the same question mark, question mark, question mark. We're going to say at content for one of those question marks. So we'll switch back here to add event. And content is, looks like the last question mark here. So we'll paste that content in there. Okay, so let's give this a shot and see if by some miracle it works. Oh, you know the other thing we'll need to do though is put a link to this page on the default page so that we can get at it. So I'm just going to copy these two things. I'm going to put this one at the top because I think they'll actually use this more. Create an event. I'm just going to say on the before the break here, shows on the, how about displays? Displays on the home page below the big picture. And then we'll change this to add event. Okay, so we'll save all this. We'll come back here to the admin page and reload it. And then we'll click on create an event. And the ID will be 2. And the title will be Tri Cities Marathon. The date added. You know, we'll come back and put a calendar control on here too. But 7/28/2011 and our display date. Let's put 8/2/. Oh, you know, there's a little. That brings up a mistake in the logic in the code. I'm going to display the newest one even if the display date's not here. So we'll go through and take care of that logic. But I'm just going to say Tri Cities Marathon here. We won't write too much text. By 3 RR. And then we'll insert this. And let's return to the admin page. And actually, let's go home page, and there it is. Okay, so everything's working out pretty well. I noticed one thing. We know we're not going to have any images on this, and we had on our add event we had an image box displayed, so we can get rid of this bound field for the image. Let's save that and double check that out again. Okay, good. So the image box is gone. And then we also had some text here when we, you know, cancel, say okay. But when we said insert, some of that text down here we want to change. I'm going to leave the command name the same so I don't have to change my VB code. But I'm going to say view the home page here. And then there was an error trying to add the event listing to the database. That error message. Return to admin page. Return to add event page. Okay. So again, I think things are looking pretty good. That makes it easy just to copy and paste that other code.